What if the most mind-bending discovery in quantum physics was never about particles at all, but about you? What if the real observer effect wasn't some abstract scientific curiosity, but a sacred mirror revealing the truth that your attention creates the very reality you live in? That every moment you focus, every thought you energize, every emotion you amplify, collapses infinite timelines into one chosen path. This isn't science fiction. It's the forgotten metaphysics of being human. In this transmission, we decode the true nature of the observer effect, not as a cold quantum anomaly, but as the key to your creative power. You'll discover why your perception shapes outcomes, how emotion tunes your frequency, and what it means to shift timelines through conscious awareness. Because once you realize you're not just observing the world, but actively generating it, everything changes. You are not the effect, you are the cause, and the universe is listening. When most people hear the observer effect, they think of a quantum experiment, electrons behaving differently when watched. But what if that experiment wasn't revealing a quirk of subatomic behavior, but a forgotten truth about consciousness itself? The universe isn't reacting to machines or microscopes, it's responding to awareness. This isn't about particle physics, it's about you. Your perception, your focus, your very act of noticing is shaping the reality you live in. The ancients didn't need particle accelerators to know this. From the Hermetic teachings of Thoth to the mystics of the East, the message has always been the same. The outer world is a mirror of the inner observer. You're not simply in the world. You are projecting it through the lens of your consciousness. What you perceive is entangled with what you believe, expect, and fear. The act of seeing isn't passive, it's an act of creation. In quantum terms, the observer collapses the wave function. In human terms, your awareness selects from infinite timelines. Every possible version of your life already exists, but only the one you focus on becomes solid, real, tangible. This is not just esoteric poetry, it's aligned with the mathematics of quantum probability. You're not seeing reality, you're choosing it with every thought, every glance, every vibration you emit. Think about that next time you say, "I always attract bad luck," or "nothing ever works out." Those aren't observations, they're energetic instructions. The universe listens not to your words, but to your vibration. And your vibration is a direct result of where your observer, your attention, is placed. You don't have to change the world. You only have to change how you see it, and the world reshapes itself accordingly. So if you've ever wondered why patterns repeat, why certain opportunities seem blocked, or why your life feels like a loop, it may be time to examine the observer behind the scenes. That silent presence within you is not small. It is the cosmic lens through which the infinite becomes personal. The observer effect wasn't about a particle. It was always about the sacred alchemy of human consciousness. Quantum particles flicker in and out of existence, not because they're mischievous, but because they await a decision, your decision. The same principle applies to thoughts. Just as particles exist as probabilities until observed, your thoughts exist as energetic blueprints until chosen and empowered. The bridge between subatomic uncertainty and human experience is perception. When you perceive, you collapse infinite mental possibilities into one thought, one belief, one identity. Every thought form is a frequency, an energetic echo that ripples through the field of consciousness. And when you focus on a thought long enough, with emotion behind it, it begins to crystallize into form. That's not metaphor, it's literal. The thoughts you give attention to are the ones you feed with energy, and energy, as all mystics and physicists agree, is the building block of matter. So in a very real way, the beliefs you nurture become the architecture of your external world. This is why ancient traditions warned of careless thinking. In Hermeticism, thought is seen as the first layer of manifestation. In yogic systems, The mind is both the cage and the key. Neville Goddard said it simply, imagination creates reality. He wasn't being poetic. He was describing the mechanical structure of consciousness. Your internal focus is not confined to your skull. It's a projector, casting your dominant thought forms onto the quantum field of existence. Let this sink in. The moment you dwell on a thought, you give it a kind of spiritual gravity. You pull it from the sea of infinite potential into your personal dimension. That's how one worry becomes a pattern, one limiting belief becomes a life story, and one empowered intention can shift your entire trajectory. You're not just observing reality, you're formatting it with the software of your perception. So the next time you catch yourself looping in doubt, fear, or what-ifs, pause, breathe. Recognize that you're on the bridge between quantum indeterminacy and physical experience. That pause is powerful. It's the space where you get to choose which reality will crystallize. And that choice, that sacred moment of focus, is where magic lives. Imagine reality as a radio, broadcasting countless frequencies all at once. Every possible version of your life, every timeline, every outcome is already humming in the cosmic background. But here's the secret. You can only hear the station you're tuned into, and that tuning fork is your attention. Your attention isn't just passive awareness, it's an energetic selection tool, a cosmic remote control deciding what you experience. Your brain is not merely a processor, it's a frequency translator. Just as a radio converts invisible waves into sound, your consciousness converts quantum fields into lived experience. The dial you turn isn't physical, it's vibrational. Wherever you place your sustained attention, you begin to align your frequency with that version of reality. That's why fear breeds more fear, and love opens up miracles. Your emotions act as the amplifier, your beliefs the tuner. This isn't wishful thinking, it's physics wrapped in metaphysics. According to quantum field theory, everything exists as overlapping potentials until something, you, observes and selects. The act of focused attention aligns you with a specific energetic signature. Stay on that frequency long enough, and it becomes visible, tangible, real. You're not manifesting out of nowhere, you're dialing into what's already available. This is why people trapped in cycles of lack, anxiety, or victimhood often feel stuck. They're tuned into the same frequency day after day, unaware that the dial can be turned. Your inner dialogue, your emotional state, your recurring thoughts. They're not just psychological, they're electromagnetic. And the field, the quantum sea around you, responds not to what you want, but to what you consistently observe with emotional charge. So the next time you wonder why certain doors won't open, or why synchronicities evade you, ask yourself, what station am I tuned into right now? Your future isn't waiting on better luck or perfect timing. It's waiting on you to change the dial. And once you do, you'll realize the universe wasn't withholding. It was just waiting for you to notice what's already playing. While the conscious mind claims to be the pilot, it's actually the subconscious that holds the map, controls the instruments, and steers the ship. Most people live as if they're making decisions consciously, but neuroscience and mysticism both whisper the same truth. The subconscious is the silent observer, scripting the reality you think you're choosing. It's not just a storage space, it's a broadcasting station, constantly shaping the field around you. The subconscious doesn't judge, it doesn't analyze. It simply receives impressions through repetition, emotion, and environment, and then replays them as reality scripts. That's why childhood wounds echo into adulthood. That's why beliefs you don't even remember forming still govern what you attract. Like an invisible hand beneath the surface, the subconscious directs your frequency, and therefore your life. Carl Jung famously said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." That's not a poetic metaphor, that's a metaphysical law. If the subconscious is filled with scarcity, your observer will notice only lack. If it's conditioned by fear, you'll tune into timelines where that fear is justified. Your conscious affirmations mean little if your subconscious vibration remains unchanged. This is why spiritual practices like breathwork, meditation, hypnosis, and inner child healing are so powerful. They allow you to bypass the surface mind and speak directly to the hidden observer. When you impress a new belief onto the subconscious with emotion and repetition, you begin to shift your energetic resonance. And as that shifts, so does the reality you perceive and attract. It's not magic, it's energetic alignment. So, if you've ever wondered why manifestation feels inconsistent or why affirmations don't seem to work, look beneath the surface. Ask, what does my subconscious really believe I deserve? Because until the hidden observer is seen, until its programs are rewritten, you will continue to create the same film, just with different actors and settings. Transformation doesn't happen at the surface. It happens in the depths, where the true observer lives. Emotions aren't just feelings, they're frequencies. Every emotion you experience emits a distinct vibrational signal, like a tuning fork reverberating through the quantum field. Joy sings in harmony with creation. Fear contracts your field and limits access to potential. Emotions are not just responses to events, they're energetic declarations. They tell the universe what timeline you're tuned into, what possibilities you're ready to receive or reject. You've felt it. Walk into a room charged with anger, and it grips your body before a word is spoken. Enter a space filled with gratitude, and your heart opens without trying. That's not psychological, it's electromagnetic. The HeartMath Institute has proven that the heart emits a magnetic field thousands of times more powerful than the brain, and that field responds most strongly to emotion. Your emotional state then becomes your broadcast. The observer effect doesn't just hinge on attention, it hinges on emotionally charged attention. You may think you're neutral, but your vibration never lies. If you visualize abundance while secretly resenting others who have it, the universe reads resentment, not vision. If you affirm love while harboring fear, you emit contradiction. The field responds to coherence, not confusion. To shift your life, you must align thought, feeling, and belief into vibrational harmony. Ancient traditions understood this well. In yogic systems, emotions are linked to energy centers, chakras, that either expand or restrict life force. In Hermetic teachings, emotion is the fire that animates thought into form. And in modern neuroscience, we now see how emotional states alter brainwave patterns, immune response, and even DNA expression. This isn't philosophy, it's bioenergetics, it's quantum biology, it's reality shaping through feeling. So begin to treat emotions as tools, not symptoms. They are your inner compass and your outer signal. When you feel joy, you're in resonance with a version of life where that joy is reflected. When you feel dread, you're glimpsing the lens of a timeline you don't want to inhabit. The key isn't suppression, it's awareness, because once you master the emotional frequency you dwell in, you master the outcomes you draw in. Expectation isn't just a mental forecast, it's a vibrational command. The universe doesn't fulfill your hopes, it mirrors your assumptions. When you expect something, you're not waiting passively. You're actively tuning your observer to a specific outcome. You begin to see, feel, and prepare for it, subtly influencing choices, aligning perception, and transmitting the frequency of that reality into the quantum field. This is why some people seem to effortlessly manifest success or chaos over and over. It's not luck or destiny, it's expectation. Expectation crystallizes potential. It focuses your observation so consistently that it collapses the wave of possibility into the particle of experience. Even the placebo effect, which science struggles to explain, is a living testimony. Belief creates biology. The body responds to expectation more powerfully than to chemicals. The esoteric truth is that your observer isn't neutral. It's colored by years of programming, belief systems, traumas, and identity. If you expect rejection, your mind filters out love. If you expect struggle, ease becomes invisible. This is the observer effect in real time. Your expectations sculpt your sensory world. You're not just seeing reality, you're decoding it through the filter of your energetic assumption. Neville Goddard taught this with fierce clarity. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, not wish for it, not try to believe it, but live in the assumption. When your inner world reflects it as done, the outer world rushes to comply. Expectation, then, is more than attitude. It's alchemy. It's the spell you unconsciously cast over your life every day. So pause and ask yourself, what do I expect life to give me? Be honest, because that expectation is the blueprint the universe is working from. Change the blueprint and the building will change. That's not magic. It's metaphysical architecture, and you are both the architect and the builder. You are not stuck in one timeline. In fact, you've never lived in a single fixed reality. Every moment, every choice, every thought branches into alternate possibilities, parallel realities layered like pages in a cosmic book. And what determines which page you land on? The vibrational signature of your observer. Your inner state doesn't just perceive reality, it selects it. Quantum theory already hints at this. The multiverse isn't science fiction, it's physics. Every decision you could have made, every version of you that could exist, already does. But which one you live out depends on where your consciousness is anchored. Shift the anchor, your beliefs, your identity, your frequency, and you shift the timeline. It's not about effort, it's about resonance. This is why major life changes can feel like quantum leaps, sudden, unexplainable shifts that defy logic. When your observer detaches from one identity and locks into a new vibrational state, your external world must reconfigure. People fall away, new opportunities appear, old problems dissolve. It feels miraculous, but it's actually precise frequency tuning. You've jumped timelines, not in space, but in consciousness. To do this consciously requires practice. First, you must become aware of your current vibrational state, not just how you feel, but what you expect, what you allow, and what you identify as. Then, begin to feed your consciousness with the thoughts, emotions, and actions aligned with the reality you prefer. Live as if, feel as if, breathe as if. The observer will recalibrate, and with it, the reality you experience. Remember, timelines don't change because the world shifts. They change because you do. Reality is not static, it's responsive. When your observer moves, the multiverse listens. So if your current reality no longer serves your soul's blueprint, tune inwards, shift your frequency, and step into the version of Earth where your expansion has already occurred. To live as the observer awakener is to reclaim the throne of your own consciousness. It is to stop reacting to life as if it's happening to you and start realizing it's happening through you. The awakened observer doesn't chase outcomes or fear the unknown. It recognizes that every external event is a mirror of internal vibration. And with that recognition comes power. The power to create, align, and evolve with intention. This is where ancient wisdom meets quantum truth. The law of vibration, long whispered through esoteric schools, now echoes through modern science. Everything is energy, and energy is shaped by consciousness. You are not here to fix reality. You are here to embody the frequency of the one you wish to experience. Creation is not external manipulation, it's internal alignment. You don't fight the wave, you become the wave. When you begin to live as the conscious observer, Small moments become sacred. You start to notice where your attention flows, where your beliefs crystallize, where your emotional currents shape your choices. You learn to breathe before reacting, to feel before speaking, to observe before deciding. Life becomes a lucid dream, and you, the lucid dreamer, awake within it, empowered by it, no longer its prisoner. And with that awakening comes compassion. You see others not as broken or blind, but as fellow dreamers still remembering their role as observers. You no longer need to convince, control, or prove. Instead, you radiate. You tune your own frequency so powerfully that it begins to shift the field around you. This is true leadership. Not force, but frequency. Not noise, but resonance. So step forward now, not as a seeker, but as a creator. Not as one who hopes, but as one who knows. Reality bends to the one who observes it consciously. You are not just a participant in this universe. You are its interpreter, its composer, its catalyst. And the more awake your observer becomes, the more miraculous the dream. You are the eye through which the universe becomes aware of itself, not a spectator, but a sculptor, not a victim of chance, but a master of vibration. The observer effect was never meant to stay confined within laboratory walls. It was a whisper from the cosmos, calling you to awaken to your creative role. Each day, you have a choice: to unconsciously replay the frequencies of your past, or to consciously tune into the timeline your soul came here to live. The difference? A single breath of awareness, a single moment of remembering that you are not separate from reality. You are its conductor, its decoder, its divine interpreter. So notice, feel, tune in, and know this: your presence is not passive. Your gaze is electric, your focus is a prayer in motion. And when you awaken to this truth, you don't just change your life, you change the world it's happening in. If this message resonates with the frequency of your soul, like this video and subscribe to the Cosmic Awakening channel, where truth isn't just shared, it's activated.